Blue Jay fans that are still alive and breathing, we're back. Off-season preview, season review. We're going to be breaking this thing down. I mixed those two up, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We're going to talk about the season that was. Kind of talk about the players. Did they exceed expectations? Did they not do well? Guys that should come back. Guys that shouldn't come back. And free agents in free agency upcoming as of right now. That I think the Jays could possibly go after. We'll break down certain positions that need work and go from there. But the one word I think we can talk about this team, inconsistent. Couldn't get anything going. Best they got were 2 5-game win streaks. That was it. And they had a ridiculously awful April. I think they had the worst in franchise history. Had a winning May, but then were awful. They were like so inconsistent the rest of the way. That's just the way it was. That's the whole year. Injuries didn't help, of course, but the team overall just didn't play well. Now we're going to break down most of the players here. Some of the small guys like Taylor Cole, Leonel Campos, we didn't see enough of to break them down. But we'll talk about certain guys. Like Brett Anderson, we're going to start off with. Came over kind of midway on a minor league deal. Came up through 3 very, very good starts. Had a couple really bad starts. And then his final 2 starts weren't that bad. Gave up 3 runs in 5 innings against, I think it was the Red Sox. Then 5 scoreless against the Yankees in his final outing. Again, free agent, left-handed starting pitcher. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe he comes back on a depth role. Who knows? But let me know what you guys think about that. Danny Barnes, our next guy. If you're looking at it as a season as a whole, I thought he had a great year. 3.55 earned run average, 66 innings of work. I thought he was great. Just about a strikeout an inning, 62 strikeouts in total. Again, a guy that's going to be in this bullpen next year, looking at the same type of thing we saw this year from him. Joe Biagini, a guy we saw as a reliever to start, then a starter, and I think all Blue Jay fans want him back in the bullpen to start next year, but I don't know what their plan is for him, depending on what happens in free agency, I guess. But I want to see Biagini back in the bullpen. I think you guys too. Let's just wait and see what happens there. Move ahead, Matt Dermody, lefty. We didn't see a lot of him this year. He had a rough start with the Blue Jays. Then he kind of came back up and was pretty decent. Couple rough starts to end off the year, but overall not too bad. But still not a guy I'm sold on to be one of our main lefties out of the bullpen. Marco Estrada, he had a great start, and then I don't know what happened to him. He lost all confidence in himself. Just really had a rough start. And then near the end of the season, he had a really good start. He threw out some really good innings. 7 innings against Boston, no runs. 5 innings, 2 runs against the Orioles. 8 innings, 2 runs against Minnesota. 7 innings, 1 run against the Yankees. And then a really, really rough start in his final start against the Red Sox to end off the year. So, we saw decent stuff. We obviously have him for next year. I hope to see Marco Estrada next year, not whatever this was. Next up, Jay Happ. He had a really tough start, as pretty much every Blue Jay did. Got injured. He was out for, over a month. Came back, was absolutely lights out. He had over 5 ERA when he went on the DL, and he ended off with a 3.53 earned run average. He was electric. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of his last 6 starts that I have here. He gave up 1 earned run. That's it. He was dynamite to end the season. And if we can see that Jay Happ moving forward into next year, that's fantastic. Tom Kohler's the next guy. Now, Tom Kohler came over late in the season. Fairly late. I guess like July or something he came over. And, he had a really rough number. I think it was like a 1-7 record, I guess. And just really didn't look good with the Miami Marlins. Came over to the Blue Jays and threw up 1 good start, then went in the bullpen, and man, he was pretty darn good in the bullpen for the Jays. Had an ERA of 2.65 as a Jay. I look at him to maybe not battle for the rotation, but be that guy out of the bullpen like he was this year. If he can be like he was this year, that's great stuff. We're going to run through this a little bit quicker now. Dominic Leone, fantastic year. We all wanted to see him as a setup guy. He had 2.56 earned run average in 70 1/3 innings. 3-0 record. He was fantastic. Next up, the main man himself, Aaron Loup. I'm going to leave it at that. Tim Meza, Yeah, again, lefty, not too sure about him. Roberto Osuna, we all know what happened to him this year. He was either very good or very bad. When he was using his fastball, he was good. When he wasn't, he was using the cutter, and he was getting crushed. Again, don't expect to see the bad Roberto Osuna as we move forward. Expect him to get back to his original form next season. Carlos Ramirez, we all want him in the bullpen next year. Had that huge scoreless inning streak in the minors, and then came up to the big leagues and did very, very well. Quickly, Chris Rowley, again, came up, had one good start, had some rough starts when the bullpen wasn't all that great, and that was that. And Aaron Sanchez, a big loss for this team almost the entire season, kept coming back, went on the DL. It was just a mess with that stupid blister. Hopefully that gets all sorted out and he's unbelievable next year. That's what we need to see. Luis Santos, kind of like Carlos Ramirez, didn't have a great minor leagues, but came up and was okay in the bigs. Bo Schultz, I don't know why I just mentioned him, but he's a guy that we didn't have all season long because he had a torn UCL. So he'll hope to be back next year. He could be an all right guy out of the bullpen, good power arm. Marcus Stroman, the sixth god himself, unbelievable season. Was top 5, top 6 in the ERA title in the American League. Nothing better to say about him. Unbelievable. Ryan Tepera, again, kind of like Danny Barnes, a very good season. 3.59 earned run average, 77 innings, a 7-1 record. He was great in his year. We'll go quickly through the catchers. Rafi Lopez, mixed feelings, totally. Luke Maile, great catcher, not very good hitter from what we saw. Russell Martin, again, he was hurt for quite a while. It really showed, and it was tough to play without him. Really missed him, but not. It was kind of a typical Russell Martin season, kind of a 230 hitter. He hit 221 with 13 home runs, even with the injury. So, you know what you're going to get from Russell Martin as well. Miguel Montero, free agent, didn't do anything as a Blue Jay. Can't see him coming back. Darwin Barney, free agent. Sure, if he wants to come back, and if he can come back, sure, I'd love him back. JD, big thing. Josh Donaldson, last year of arbitration before free agency. The big question, which way is this team headed? Are they going towards being younger and being a not great team for a few years? If that's the case, trade Josh Donaldson. As much as I hate saying it, that's the way I feel. If you want to contend, sign him back. That's all I got to say about that. He had a great year as well. Ryan Goins, love him. That's plain and simple. Steve Pearce, not a great outfielder. Decent bat, not a great outfielder. Rob Ruffsnyder, didn't see as much, didn't see a lot of him. He was okay at times. He was really bad at times. So, got mixed feelings about that. Justin Smoke, the MVP of the season. What an unbelievable year this guy had. Slowed down near the end, but did hit 270 on the year. 38 home runs, 90 RBIs. He was fantastic this year. Look to hopefully maybe see more of that next year from Justin Smoke. Devin Travis, a big piece of this team that we lost all year. You look at him, great with runners in scoring position, a constant 300 hitter, a good defender at second base, your everyday second baseman, and you lost him, I think it was in the early June time, and that was just that. And it was kind of downhill from there. Troy Tulowitzki, we all saw the injury. It was rough. It was awful. We know what we're going to get defensively. Offensively, we still want to see him break out, but you never know what you're going to see. Still need him back to start next year. Richard Urania, young guy. Can't see him making the team out of camp, but a great player. Probably play in AAA next year. Getting ready to come up to the big leagues eventually. Anthony Alford, we saw him for a little bit, then he got hurt. Then he went back to AA. He was great down there. Jose Bautista. Well, I think this is it for Jose. I mean, as much as it's sad for me to say about the history that he had with this team, and I love him and all that stuff, he did not have a great season. He set a franchise record in strikeouts. He hit barely over 200. He wasn't the Jose Bautista we know and love. So I don't see him coming back unless he takes a ridiculously low amount of money, but I don't even see happening. Ezekiel Carrera, we know what we're going to see from him left and right. Good player off the bench, got some speed. Outfielding's a little questionable. His mind in the outfield's a little questionable, but that's that. Teoscar Hernandez. Okay, I can see him being our everyday left fielder next year, right fielder, depending on where they want to put him, because he impressed the heck out of me this year. The pop in the guy's bat was unbelievable. He had 8 home runs in 27 games, hit 261, as a Jay. 23 hits in 27 games. I thought he was fantastic. But you got to, look at them through the offseason and all that kind of stuff. So it's very interesting there. Kevin Pillar, great start to the season. I don't know what happened to him near the end. Just kind of died off. Well, no, in the middle he died off. Near the end he kind of found a streak again. But you know what you're going to get defensively from Kevin Pillar, and that is that. Right, and for the outfield, I think is the big question for the Blue Jays going into next year, because infield you've got a lot of options, and that was the big thing this year. We had a lot of depth infielders, so that's why we were okay there. But when players go down in the outfield, it was a little rough. And you look at a guy like Kendrys Morales, a guy who was your typical DH, kind of your Edwin replacement of this year, and numbers wise, he wasn't all that bad, but he had a lot of holes in his swing. We all know that low curveball, low off speed, you're getting him swinging. And that was just a tough thing to do. I don't know what their plan is with him next year, but that is that. All right, so we've broken down all the players. We've broken down the season that was, about how miserable it was. Now, free agents for the Blue Jays. What's the plan? First up, Miguel Montero. I can't see him coming back. That's all I got to say. He's making $14 million this year. He won't be next year, obviously. And that is that. Rafi Lopez on arbitration. If they want to get him back and fire him in AAA, sure, fine by me. Ryan Goins and Devin Travis are both guys that are in arbitration this year. I don't know what they're going to start making. Devin Travis, I love the guy, but he's been injured a lot, so I'm not sure what the plan is for him. Josh Donaldson, like I said, it depends the situation the Jays want to go into. If they want to compete for years to come, including next year, you got to sign him back for more than just one more arbitration year, because it's going to be tough to sign him next season. Darwin Barney, a free agent. Again, I'd like to see him back. Will he come back? I don't know. Let's run through here some more. Michael Saunders, UFA. Nothing really special there. Carrera and Pillar, both guys who are arbitration eligible. I think they're both going to come back, obviously. I can't see why that would be an issue. And Marcus Stroman's eligible for arbitration. Nick Tepish, I guess, but really, who cares? Aaron Sanchez is a guy that's arbitration eligible. Tom Kohler's eligible. Aaron Loop, Roberto Osuna, Mike Bolsinger. I'm just going through a bunch right here. Anybody else that jumps out at me here? Jeff Beliveau, we saw him a little bit this year, but really nothing substantial when it comes to free agents this year for the Jays, but other than Bautista, obviously. Now, let's move along to what the Jays need. And I think that is a backup catcher. Luke Maile was great defensively, but his bat, it was just a liability at the bottom of the lineup, and it just hurt. It really did. Now, I'm looking at the catchers here, and I'm going to run through some of them here. As a backup to Russell Martin, you could say Alex Avila. He wasn't a bad player this year. I think he's a backup, right? We're not looking for a guy who's going to be a starter this year. Jose Lobaton, he's on the Nationals. I thought he was okay. Nick Hundley, Tyler Flowers has an option, but they bought him out. Hank Conger, guys like that. I'm not seeing anybody else. Josh Tolley's on here, people. That's really that. First baseman, we don't need any. Second base, depending on injury, obviously. Darwin Barney's on this list as well. I'm not seeing any big names here. There really isn't many big names in this free agent class when it comes to fielders. And like I said, look at infielders. I'm looking at the shortstops. There's really nothing special. You have Tulo's, no problem. Third base, if you keep Donaldson, no problem there. Now, this is where things get interesting. The outfielders is where this team needs to work. You had Bautista. He's probably going to be gone. If you want Teoscar Hernandez to be that everyday starter, he's one. Let's say he's not. Just to kind of run through some names. A guy that I want, and you're going to have to pay him a pretty penny, J.D. Martinez. A great guy, a solid outfielder, and he's unbelievable with the bat. I want that guy. Now, will it happen? I don't know. Who knows? A guy like Gerard Dyson, Rajai Davis, guys with speed, not a bad idea. I'm going to go down here. Melky Cabrera's on this list. Matt Holliday on the Yankees. John Jay, Cameron Maben, Colby Erasmus. Really nothing else there. That's just left fielders. We're going to center fielders. Lorenzo Cain is on here. Austin Jackson, Carlos Gomez. Ben Revere is a free agent. People! Blue Jays brass. Every Blue Jay fan loved Ben Revere. He is a free agent this year. Will you have to pay a lot for him? Probably not, because he did have an off year with the Angels. But we know from previous years what we can see from Ben Revere. He is only 30. It's not like he's 36 or 34 trying to age. He's 30. He could be a guy you go after for one of those corner infielder spots. And then we look at right fielders. I'm looking down here. Carlos Gonzalez is going to be... Oh, Cargo. Wow. I love him, but I don't... No thanks. I don't... Yeah, you're gonna have to give an arm and a leg for that guy. So yeah, no thanks. DH is no problem. Now we've gone through the outfielders, kind of looking at guys. I've named some that we can maybe look at. Now, starting pitchers, I say we want one. Aaron Sanchez, Marco Estrada, Marcus Stroman, Jay Happ. There's 4. You want one more. Now, who's out here? I'm gonna list some. Brett Anderson is 1. Jake Arrieta, Clay Buchholz. I'm just starting to go down the list. I'm not saying these are guys I want. I'm just going down the list here. Andrew Kashner. Alex Cobb is a guy that I've been talking about for a little bit. Johnny Cueto, if he doesn't go back. Yu Darvish. Now, I mean, everybody and their grandmother wants Yu Darvish. You know, Jaime Garcia, Matt Garza, Dylan G, Miguel Gonzalez, Jeremy Hellickson, Derek Holland, Ubaldo Jimenez, yeah, right, Lariano, Lance Lynn, and, you know, there's some other guys, Jonathan Neese, but really Tyson Ross, Michael Pineda. So there's tons of them. There's tons. Now, that's something that I think the Jays need. One solid pitcher. One solid starting pitcher, and I think if healthy and if good, they have a solid rotation. That's that. Now, relievers, I thought the righties were pretty good this year. I can see them maybe adding one. They lost Joaquin Benoit last year. He was a great piece for this team. He went to the Phillies and really didn't do all that great. But if you look at right-handers, I mean, Tyler Clippard, but he wasn't all that great. Wade Davis is a guy late in games you could throw in there, but he's a closer, really, for that matter. A guy I wouldn't mind getting, there is a player option, Greg Holland off the Colorado Rockies, if he doesn't, obviously, go back to them. Brendan Kinsler, a guy that went to the Washington Nationals. He was the closer for the Minnesota Twins until he got traded. A guy that could eat up some innings and is a very good 8th inning type of guy there for you. You could look at something like that. But another big piece to this team is a left-handed reliever. We talked about it. We have Aaron Loop, Matt Dermody, Tim Meza. Those are our 3 lefties. None of them I can rely on. So, who are in free agency? I'm going to look through some here. Fernando Abad, Antonio Bastardo, Craig Breslow, Brian Dunsing, Zach Duke, Jake McGee, a guy on the Rockies. He used to play for the Tampa Bay Rays. He might not be a bad fit. Tony Watson played for the Pirates. You know, Eric O'Flaherty, Oliver Perez. I'm just reading some names here. These guys could have options. I'm just naming it. Boone Logan, 33. He has a club option as well. But those are some pieces, right? There are some pieces. There's not any gigantic names I think the Jays should go after other than like J.D. Martinez. But if they want to go after like a guy like Ben Revere, to have Kevin Pillar, Ben Revere, and maybe Teoscar Hernandez in the outfield, that's some speed. That is Ben Revere's contact hitting if he can be the Ben Revere we know. And Teoscar Hernandez, like there's a lot of pieces there. Now, obviously, getting depth is a big thing as well. Getting a speedster, maybe like Rajay Davis to come off the bench, bring him back maybe. That might be a piece you do. Gerard Dyson to come off the bench. Like, moves like that to get speed is a big thing. So, we briefly broke down the season that was, how the players did, the upcoming free agents for the Jays, and the arbitration-eligible Blue Jays. And we briefly went over the free agent class for 2017 and 2018, the winner of 2017-2018. And this is where I'm going to let you guys just go bananas in the comment section about what do you guys think should happen. There is a ton that I think should happen to this team. A guy like getting some speed in the outfield, like a Ben Revere, who we know we can love. And I didn't know he was a free agent until I just looked. So when I saw that, I am excited. Because we loved him. We loved him in Toronto. You guys know that. If you guys, even if there are bandwagon fans out there from the 2015-2016 seasons, even the 2015 season with the David Price deal, all that crazy stuff, you saw the impact Ben Revere made on this team. He had over 300 as a Blue Jay. That big guy at the top of the lineup. Made some nice catches in the outfield. Was speed. He was speed. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to leave that to you guys. I just started naming a bunch of guys. I'll let you guys go nuts in the comments, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed this video, and just talking about the free agent possibilities get me excited. Anyways, hit that subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below. Look, I'm just going to say comment down below everything you guys got to say. If you want to talk about the season that was, go ahead. Talk about our free agent class and the arbitration guys, go ahead. If you want to strictly talk free agency, go ahead. Go nuts. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And we'll talk to you guys. What'll it be? Tuesday, Leafs edition. Yeah, nothing tomorrow. Just want to get this video out to you guys now. If you guys saw the tweet I fired out to you guys, the power went out here. That quick storm that went through Toronto, or Ontario for that matter. I lost power. Was gone for most of the day. Literally came back probably like 9:30. So getting this video out to you guys as fast as I can, and we'll talk to you guys, like I said, Tuesday, Leafs edition, as they're in Washington taking on the Capitals for the first time since that playoff series. Leafs look to continue rolling and go 5-1. That would be gorgeous. And we'll also talk to you guys Raptors edition Thursday, baby, the 19th of October. Oh, we're getting so close. Tip-off. Bulls in town at the Air Canada Centre. Game 1 of the regular season. 7:30 tip-off, 7:15 live stream beginning. Oh, I am excited. I know you guys are too. Let's get this offseason rolling for the Jays. Let's get these Leafs keep rolling. Let's get the Raptors season underway. Talk to you guys then.